I got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me. Thought it was distance, but hey, this is next to me. Talk to the spirit, you know I've been heavenly. Company definitely show your trajectory. This ain't a diss, cause I say it respectfully. It's time to
We are now recording in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are back to discuss another episode of The Shy. This is season 6, episode 3, titled House Party. Before we jump into the discussion, please make sure you guys click that subscribe button, the notification bell, and the thumbs up. Help support our channel. It helps us out a lot. So we appreciate all the love that we've been getting, but we would appreciate some subscriptions and some likes too.
In that order.
Exactly. So without further ado, we can go ahead and hop into this episode. It was definitely a house party.
Oh, yeah.
And it had a lot going on.
Had me up. I know.
Yeah, ain't nothing like a good old house party, a little housewarming.
Mm-hmm.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. I'm saying nothing like a good old house party. With the wobble too.
That's when I got off the couch. I mean, I had to get off the couch with the wobble.
Now, the one thing that I didn't really appreciate about some of their guests, because, they were trying to bring back some old friends and stuff. And I think that Emmett and Keisha very quickly realized that, you got to let some of these friendships die out. When it's time to part ways, you outgrow people sometimes.
Yes, you do.
Because Emmett's boy was out there talking about all the women he was creeping around with, and he just seemed like he was still living his bachelor life, his best bachelor life. And Emmett isn't really in a different place now. So they can't really relate to each other anymore. And then the girl that Keisha had over, she was just being nosy.
She's a hater too.
Yeah.
She's a hater.
Yeah.
Because she was, when she came in there, how much y'all paid? Because this, that, and the other. And is Emmett still cheating? And my man ain't doing right. I'm like, okay.
That's your man.
That's your man. Right. So she's a hater. And, like Nip said in one of his songs, circle getting smaller, everybody can't go.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. But, I was kind of interested to see how Nina was going to react to this move because, she was right. Keisha didn't even run it by her or nothing. Like, it just happened. And it happened real quick. So it seems like Nina was a little bit shocked that, Keisha didn't let her know about it. And she's like, questioning her and Emmett's relationship. Y'all not married. Y'all sharing assets. Is this a good idea?
That's exactly why she didn't get a notice.
Right. She was making some good points.
No, the points are well taken.
But that is why she didn't tell her, because she's, she's grown and she's trying to do her own thing.
And you got to let grown folk be grown folk, and they're going to make mistakes, and you just have to be there when they do. But other than that, had she said something, she would have gotten that same message, if not stronger. Like, this is something you all shouldn't do. And she's right. Nina's right.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a house with a married folk is a big deal.
Right.
But to go out with someone that, you're not even married to, oh, yeah. All kind of drama can happen from that.
And a lot of them were really playing on Keisha and Emmett's insecurities too, because it was like they kept bringing up like, oh, Emmett, he got a reputation and all of this stuff. And it's like, it's always when you seem like you're doing good with your partner and people want to bring up stuff to make you question things.
Well, let me bring up this though. At the beginning, I was a little worried with Emmett and Tiff in the old apartment.
Yeah.
They did look a little cozy. They look, like they were reminiscing. You want to go get some breakfast and stuff? I was like,
you're doing a little bit too much.
Too much.
And there's nothing wrong with having, a cordial relationship with the ex and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. And they have children, so they should be cordial. But they were looking, I picked up on the same thing, Ron. I was like, uh-oh.
That eye gaze, particularly Emmett, So, step back, cool down, chill, figure it out. Like you said, Tiff, go to breakfast or lunch or wherever you were going and hip on out of there real quick, because It can get nasty.
reminiscing over their old, apartment and stuff. And I don't know, because it wasn't Emmett who wanted the divorce in the first place.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, it looked suspect for a minute.
Yeah.
It really did. Now, what did you guys? I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but since we're talking about Tiff and Emmett and Keisha, the conversation about little EJ saying curse words, and Keisha was trying to say, look, like, Emmett, you need to talk to her. So Emmett did exactly that, but Tiffany did not receive it well. In fact, she told Keisha she needed to mind her business when Keisha was saying, maybe you should play some edited music.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I was not feeling Tiff's response, my namesake's response, because I'm like, listen, he's 5, and he should not be using that language. Right. Period. And I know. Look, we all listen to hip hop. I'm a hip hop head, and so I understand that. I said, however, it's not cute for him to be cursing and calling Ronnie the B word. It's just not cute. And the fact that they thought it was cute and was laughing about it and was trying to justify it and saying, well, you curse. Well, Emmett is grown. He's a child. So I was like, ooh, every time I try to root for Tiff a little bit, she starts sounding like a bird. And I'm like,
But Emmett was wrong too, because, when he was told about it, he walks over there to his oldest boy, and he's sitting there laughing with him, and joking about it. That would have been a time for Emmett to say, hey, no, that ain't cool.
Yeah. And neither one of them were thinking about how it reflects on them when, Keisha was saying that if he's doing it at home, you can best believe he's doing it out in public, at school or whatever. So it's not a good look as a parent if you have to be approached by somebody outside of your household about it.
But I got to give Tiff some credit. I mean, she's listening to that hip hop in the car, and then she notices that her boy is just, bobbing along and listening very intently to it. And so she changed the channel, which lets her know, hey, Keisha was right. This stuff is soaking into his brain, and he's going to get more than just curse words.
He's impressionable. Yeah. So she did, come to her assistance and listen and stuff. So hopefully she'll be able to, circle back with Keisha and they can,
I think her pride might be too strong for that, but it would be nice to see her do that.
Yeah. And did you guys notice how the mood of the party immediately switched up as soon as Douda arrived?
As soon as Douda arrived, it was like the record scratch.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought it was so weird that he was like demanding Emmett to open the gift on the spot, but then to not do it in front of everybody. And I was like, what is up with this? It just made everything really awkward.
I knew it was a gun. And the moment he said, go into the back and open it, I said, it's a gun. And
Darnell knew too. Darnell knew too.
Darnell knew, but I wonder if it's that same gun that's got all those bodies on it, particularly that last body.
Let's
it
hope
looks
not.
like it looked like the same Glock or 9 or whatever it was, but it looks like the same gun.
Mm-hmm. It did. The thing that I was thinking too was like, Emmett, he really tried to turn him down, and I knew Emmett didn't realize what he was getting himself into, but I think in that moment, like he was like, he's easily persuaded because right after Douda gave him the gun, he playing with it in the mirror. And so I'm like, come on, like you gotta really have a firm stance. You cannot be a pushover with people like Douda. Like he will force you to do some things that you're really not trying to do.
Well, I just think
so that was weird to me about Emmett. I was just like, come on now.
Well, and
he killed somebody in front of Emmett. So I think, he's gonna be less inclined to push back.
Well, and then he didn't even check the gun to see if the gun was loaded as he was playing around with it. Because some guns have a hair trigger, and when he dropped it, it could have gone.
That could have went off.
So that it's just. But then I think at this point with Douda, he's all in, and there's really not much he can do about it. Now, we were talking about in the last series about the coffin and who's going to be in it. And now, is it going to be Darnell? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Look, I thought the same
You read
thing.
my mind. I was like, oh, the body count just went up again in my mind. In this episode, I was like,
yeah, at first I was thinking, before Darnell got to the gun, I was thinking Emmett just put it into a drawer. It didn't have like no kind of lock-in mechanism or nothing. And I'm like, well, what if EJ or one of the kids get it?
Thank you. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, they got all those kids over there. I said, somebody might stumble across the gun and get hurt or try to take it to school or something crazy.
Do you all think Darnell should have said something to Emmett like, hey, I got the gun and I'm taking it with me?
I think that Darnell did the right thing by stepping to Douda, but I think it was kind of, I don't know if Emmett's just like naive or he's not paying attention. But when he seen that the gun was missing, he should have automatically known his father had gotten it out the door. Like,
yeah, I mean,
because Dad was literally right there staring at his bedroom like he wanted to go in. So I'm like, that would have been my first thought if I was Emmett.
Well, I think his first thought was the kids. I mean,
I was going to say he probably was thinking the kids.
Well, he did panic.
Yeah, that's why he panicked. And he
now,
didn't
should he have said something to Keisha? Because
all
the secrecy that keeps going on between them. I mean, something's going to go down, and it's not going to be pretty. Because I think he should have man up and said, hey, what he gave me was, it wasn't cigars. It was a gun.
He seemed like he was about to tell her the truth. Like he lied and said it was cigars, but then he did reach into the drawer like he was about to show her what it really was. But once it was missing, he was like, let me just shut my mouth.
Yeah, well, he should have said something. Although, I mean, on one hand, being a gun owner, a responsible gun owner is what you need to be. And having a gun in your home for protection, look, I'm not against that. Okay. Come right out and say it. I'm not against that. But it should have a lock. It should be in a place that's not, that's only accessible to you. But more importantly, it should have a trigger lock at the very minimum. It should have a lock.
Yeah.
Particularly when you got young kids around.
Absolutely. And the way that Darnell was just talking sideways to Otis with them threats, I was just like,
I was like,
out of pocket.
And then when Douda said, a protective parent, a protective father, I like that. I was like,
yeah.
Actually, though, that kind of smoothed things over for me just a tad because I think Douda does respect that.
It probably does. It doesn't mean he won't kill him.
Right.
No, I look, I'm with you. The body count's still rising and he's on the list. But I think he did respect that in some ways. Doesn't mean anything, at least until the end of the series. But I don't know. I was worried. I was worried about
it. Me too. And I'm really hoping that Victor, because he did have a little chat with Otis in the kitchen. So he was like, look, keep Emmett out your mess. I'm hoping that Vic will be the one to intervene if something crazy happens.
Well, the body count went up with Victor too, because I'm thinking.
Well, listen, Vic ain't scared.
I know he's not.
And that's why I respect him because he just was like, no.
Yeah.
You know what's up. Like he is not scared of Douda.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, because he knows where all the skeletons are hidden. He know about what cards he can pull to put Otis back in check.
Now, I like what Victor said. I'm government. You need to step back with me, because I can put you in places you don't want to be. Like the Bing. I'm government.
Listen, he still got that other side. Don't sleep on Vic. That's why I was like, he the only one that ain't really, besides Darnell, who showed that he ain't scared to do that. He's the only one that showed that he ain't afraid to step.
Got street in him too, so I can respect that.
That's why I think Darnell is not a punk. Darnell did the right thing.
Not at all. Yeah. And so I feel like the house party was really going very smoothly. Up until that point. I mean, it was some little mishaps here and there, but you also notice Keisha and Nuck had a moment that I was like, interesting, because actually, he came back and apologized for not being there for her the night she got kidnapped, which I'm pretty sure, okay, this is a little bit too late, but I mean, I guess the sentiment is appreciated. But he was being a little disrespectful at first with Keisha, trying to smoke all up in her house and giving her attitude and whatnot.
Right.
And I almost forgot that they have history, that they dated before. And so I'm like, it's really a tangled web on this show. Everybody's interconnected.
Right. I appreciated him saying, apologizing, because that night that she got abducted from the bus stop, I did blame him, because I was like, she going to see this ninja. The ninja. You going to see him by bus in the middle of the night. He didn't have the decency to come pick you up.
Right.
So I did fault him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her too for doing it. She bears a responsibility for going out there in the middle of the night and stuff. But he is the man, and her so-called boyfriend at the time. I did blame him for her friend not picking her up.
Right. And did you see Emmett peep their little conversation? He had a little jealousy going on too.
Yeah. There's a lot of that floating around in this series.
Oh yeah, it was.
But like you said, I was, pleased that he lived up to it and he apologized, and I'm glad he did it even for himself, because apparently it had been eating him up. So that showed me a little something about it. So not enough for them to get back, but hey, say your words and move on, because she's on a higher plane right now. She ain't dealing with you.
Right. I mean, Nuck did good this episode up to a certain extent, because he still wouldn't come clean with Rob.
Yeah.
So Rob was out there questioning him about who killed Q, and I mean, Nuck's loyalty is to Douda. That's at the end of the day. That's the person that can really take him out. So I think that Douda strikes fear in a lot of people, and that's what's keeping Nuck in check. Because otherwise, I think that, and maybe even still, maybe eventually Nuck might switch up and join Rob. He seemed like he enjoyed the weed that Rob was smoking. I don't know. Alliances might get shady this season.
Now, like you said,
look, the thing is
this. The same thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
I kind of thought the same thing, and I think if Rob had stayed out there a little longer, and and got deeper into that discussion, because it looked like Nook wanted to say something. It looked like he might say something. But again, just like you said, I mean, if he had, and Rob missed, I'm almost certain that Douda would realize that it was Nook that brought that.
Said something.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Nook was the one that put the battery in Douda's back. I don't know if y'all remember from last season. He was the one that was saying Q was doing this, he messing up, this and that, but he gotta go. He was the one that planted the seed. So I don't think it's advantageous or beneficial for him at all to come clean to Rob and stuff. Because Douda did the deed, but Nook planted the seed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Douda definitely would have explained how that seed got into his head. So you're right.
But I kind of felt like Rob already knows. He just wants confirmation. Like, I really do feel like he's sure of who did it.
I think so too.
And I can appreciate that. If you're going to take a man's life, you need to know the whole story. So, I appreciate that, But his back is against the wall and the clock is ticking. So you got to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. That whole crew of people, like Jamal is very right to be on Lynae's butt about Bakari and being associated with them. Because he definitely got into her head this episode and was telling her, like, you really need to watch him. Is this what you really want, like, for yourself and for your life? He was like, coming from somebody who was in that lifestyle, I know. And you've seen Lynae switch up later in the episode where she was like, look, this is not what I want. What's your exit plan? Bakari, he seemed like he was just really in it for the money, and he wanted to keep, he said he was saving up, but he didn't really have an end game. Like, he was just happy to be getting money without having to work a 9 to 5.
And that was where, Nay wanted to hear from him. I mean, what's your plan? Like, how much do you need to get where you need to be? He says it's temporary, but temporary could be forever if you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I was missing in this episode was I so wanted to see Jamal and Bakari go ahead.
I think it's coming.
Yeah,
I think it's coming
I was
too.
hoping that it would have been in this episode, but
I think it's coming.
I can't wait because I want to hear what Jamal has to say to Bakari, and more importantly, I want to see how Bakari responds because he definitely knows Jamal's background.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because Vic and Rashad were able to kind of get through to him, after they had to bust him up a couple times. But
Right.
they eventually did get through to him. But I wonder how he's going to receive Jamal, because it seemed like Jamal has a little bit more of a direct approach. I don't know. He might come off a little bit too abrasive for Bakari's liking.
And that's his sis, so he's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Bakari got enough respect to keep it low.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, that's the how you say Tiff, the ninja that kills somebody. So yeah, he definitely want to keep it low.
Mm-hmm. And even with we talked about Shad a little bit, but Shad and Master Marshawn, I think that those two together are like the perfect combination because Master Marshawn seems to want to advise him, although for a fee. But he had a positive influence on Emmett, with Emmett turning himself around, being able to gain more self-control. And so I was like, well, maybe he can help Shad in some ways to stay on the straight path or whatever, because Shad seemed like he was contemplating, some other things outside of just planning his throwback business. So I thought that was really cute. Even having Master Marshawn pop back up, like these old characters coming back in.
Master Marshawn, aka Peaches from Snowfall.
Right.
Yep. And then even the kids, like having Kev and Maisha, in their situation, he was eyeing her across the room with his little puppy eyes and stuff. Like the whole party was just like a real vibe. Like I really enjoyed the episode, especially Papa, because Papa held it down this week.
He really did.
And I was like, okay, Papa, because dude came up into Smokey's and was acting real disrespectful towards the young lady. And Papa came in and was like, look, you need to I'm gonna handle this, customer situation where he's gonna provide the service or whatever, but you need to apologize. Well, and I think that goes a long way in showing somebody that you're serious about them.
And he did it in such, when we talk about customer service, he was spot on. He said, okay, this is what you ordered. It looked like there's a timing issue, so we'll go ahead and prepare it and we'll throw in 2 sides. And he wanted one side and a dessert. And he said, no, my brother, the dessert is not a side, it's a dessert. And then when he said, look, I want you to apologize. Oh, my bad. No, that's not an apology. I want to And brother, and brother gave him what he wanted. And he said, I'll throw in that apple pie just, for that sake. So all around, game ball.
I was going to say, Papa gets the game ball for me too.
Yes, he did.
Because I was like, you better show him how to treat a woman.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. I was going to say that between Papa and Darnell, I appreciate them stepping up.
Darnell too, yep.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. In fact, we got to give 2 game balls. Darnell,
yeah, we can give multiple game balls, or at least honorable mention. So Darnell earned it too.
Yeah, he did earn it.
Douda forever will get the hands.
Yeah. Oh yeah, forever.
In fact, we ought to call the hands the Douda. Because he deserves it the whole series. There's never going to get any better than that.
Right. And one thing I forgot to mention too was Jada. She was busy in that party trying to, scout people to be with Tracy. I'm like, not her trying to play matchmaker.
I was a little confused.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, be careful with that. Get in trouble trying to be matchmaker.
Right. Because for a second, it was like she was asking the questions for herself. Exactly. And I'm like, wait, what we doing here?
I know, first, then she's like, she asked for Tracy. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right. Mhm.
Yeah, so that was funny. And then also this episode, Vic asked Fatima to move in. So I was like, okay, that's a big step.
Mm.
That's major for them. So he's really like taking her seriously. It looks like they are on the path to being very serious. Um, they talked about how Jake would handle it, but I'm like, Jake has, dealt with Vic has,
Imani.
yeah, Imani in the picture before, so I don't think he would deal with it any differently.
Yeah, I don't think Jake would really care. And he worrying about his clothing line and Gemma.
Yeah. Gemma, right.
Exactly.
But hey, look, I like the fact that Fatima got a little friend now in Keisha, shopping.
Yeah.
And so that was a good setup. And Vic looking at it and I think that's what really sparked him to say, hey, this is it. I want to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Because she can be part of the friend group too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's one thing when your friends don't gel with your
Yeah.
boo, that could be problematic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just like a really feel good episode though, because you can see how the whole community just comes together. People from all different walks of life, and you got them all up in the same house wobbling. So it was a feel good episode. But we know that the feel good ain't gonna last too long, because this season is definitely gearing up to have some tragedy, and you can just kind of sense it. It's really like the tension is there.
It's the quiet before the storm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we still got to keep our eyes open for who's gonna be in that casket. Definitely, we're at the third episode, so we got 2 more before mid-season. So I'm predicting that we may find out before mid-season, before episode 5, or even at episode 5. That could be the big, mid-season storyline.
But we got to keep that door open, or rather that casket open, because of the fact that they could do a total 180 on us and put somebody we least expect in that coffin.
Yeah, I think so.
Darnell did say if you hurt, Emmett, the family, blah, 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 and somebody can catch a bullet just on the off chance that,
Yeah, somebody catching a stray.
Yeah.
So
one thing I wanted to touch on, we touched on last week, we were talking about Dre. Like, y'all were talking about how how civilized the thing this shit is. Low key. But did you see how she ran down on cuz that owed her money?
Yep.
I told you, I was like, she had that in her.
Yeah, that was funny.
She got 2 sides.
Yes.
Hey, I don't blame her. You come in all
But the audacity though.
Yeah,
right.
Audacity.
He was up in the party with, designer on and stuff, and he still owed her money.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that was funny. I think I appreciate all of these different nuances that they throw in the episode, because it's real. Like, if I was to have a house party, I imagine that's exactly how it's gonna go. Like, you're gonna have a little bit of drama, but for the most part, it's gonna be a good time.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
Just make sure you got the wobble, put it on, because it's gonna be just like that. That's what I said.
It's gonna be just like that.
I said,
Good
Nikki,
food.
if you want to make a party roll, just throw it on, and everybody they were moving furniture to get.
Yes. So I enjoyed this week's episode. Definitely looking forward to episode 4. I just seen that, Tiff, you sent us something earlier in our chat about the premiere of The Chi for season 6 being one of their highest viewed. So I was like, okay, like, it's worth the watch. So I'm glad people are really hopping on this show. They're doing a great job so far this season. Definitely looking forward to seeing what they got up their sleeves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, did you guys have anything else you wanted to add, or any other predictions you had to throw out there before we close out?
Did we have anybody else for the Get the Hands list besides Douda?
I think
he the main one.
For sure. I was about to say, he always on the list, but he really be stepping it up every episode. He giving us more and more reason why he belongs on there.
Yeah, he kept saying with Power that they make their characters earn their death. Douda is earning his.
It sure is.
He earning his.
Let me ask a question though: let me ask you, is this the elephant in the room with Keisha and Emmett? Because toward the end, they're in the bed and, you know, it looked like Emmett might have wanted, you know, get busy, and she kind of turned her back on him. So it looks like their love life is, even though they pushed in the house early.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But they did. I mean, but, you know, but back a couple of, you know, maybe in the first or second episode, Emmett had mentioned something about, you know, the sexless life they're having. And then when I saw her turn her back, I'm thinking,
I mean, it is after
the
house party. She done made about 2-3 batches of cheese dip.
I'm not saying that she didn't. I'm not saying that she didn't deserve to have her, you know, her rest. It was it was the look that Emmett had on his face that worried me the most, because it's like, Emmett, you need to get out of your personal space and understand that she did a lot to throw this party, and she's tired. You know, and that might not have been the time to try to get some. You know, wait till tomorrow. You know, the day after, something. But I'm just thinking, did anybody catch that other than me?
Oh, I seen it, but I'm like, you know, Emmett always on go.
He's always on go.
Yeah.
But I think Keisha was exhausted. Yeah. And I think eventually he caught on to that and was like, all right, let me chill.
Yeah. Right. You're right. And plus they got a house full of kids. I mean, you know, when the kids are over for the weekend and stuff, and Ronnie is still a baby and everything, and she's working now and stuff. So who knows?
I'm just a little worried with Keisha. I'm not sure if it really has hit her that she's got 4 kids now as opposed to 1.
I think I'm worried too, because I think that Nina touched on something. She struck a nerve when she was like, "Are you happy?" and stuff. And Keisha walked out. She didn't answer her. So I was like,
Yeah, that's
because it seemed like, you know, the bigger house thing was just something to have. I mean, more space is definitely needed for a family that size. But also it's like, I'm playing tit for tat with Tiff.
Yep.
Because you're not about to just buy her a car and I'm not getting nothing out of it.
Right.
So, and that's the part.
Remind her of that. Like when she came in, she was like, nice car. She was like, are you the house out of him?
Right.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you might be getting what you want out of the deal, but you really might not be happy still.
Yeah, it's at what cost is she getting what she wants? And so, and I think what we're seeing is that it's building up. And I think a lot of I think that buildup is what we're really beginning to see in Keisha. So we'll see.
Yeah, especially as this situation with Douda heats up, it really could break them.
No, really.
Yeah, it could. It could.
We'll see. We will see. But to all the viewers out there, we want to thank you all for watching. We appreciate your viewership as usual. Please drop down into the comment section and give us your thoughts on this episode. And like the video as well. Also be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post. We are also on all social media platforms at The Spot Real Talk. So give us a follow on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you please. Just go ahead and make sure you give us a follow and keep up with all that we have going on. On that note, if y'all don't have anything else to add, I think we will call it a night. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time for episode 4 of The Shy. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe. Need you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in, then break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the shower. Part 2, we don't need no pause. Here with Misty, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.